One of the most widely asked questions that does yoga help an individual with respect to weight loss? Let's discuss this in detail. I'm Harsha Nagaraj. Welcome back to Harsha Yoga. The most commonly asked question these days, does yoga help an individual in weight loss? Definitely. But it comes with a lot of clauses, a lot of terms and conditions. You can't expect to start your practice on the very first day you join for the first month and then expect a miracle to happen in the next 2 months. It's a journey. It's a way of life, of disciplining yourself at the physical and the mental level. You can't expect to do the practice for the first 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, follow a very strict diet, lead a very disciplined life, and then completely leave it after a couple of months. Doesn't make any sense. I'm 33, and the kind of lifestyle that I've led over the last decade, the kind of food habits that I follow, it's very, very strict. Why? Not because someone told me to do it, it's just that I enjoy it. Sticking to discipline when it comes to food, having a very, very strict sleep cycle, saying strictly to the food that makes you feel lazy and inert. This should be the way you lead life. You can't say, I'm going to follow a certain set of disciplinary practices over a span of 1 year or 2 years and then completely leave it and then lead an undisciplined life later on. It's not possible. I'll tell you one thing. I haven't put on any weight in the last at least 7 years. Physically, there's definitely has been a lot of changes in my physical appearance with respect to age. But with respect to my weight, nothing has changed. I I even wear my innerwear is almost 10 years old. The waist size is the same. Doesn't matter. I'm 33 now. I've been using the same. I have lots of them. It's the same. Nothing has changed. This doesn't come. I haven't contacted any of the experts. I don't have a big time nutritionist. I don't have a fitness expert. I have no one. I am my own judge. I am my own teacher. You have the greatest teacher in your own house, your grandparents, your parents, especially your mother. If you're an Indian, it's a blessing. Mark my words when I say you have the best experts with respect to food in your home. They have more knowledge than any nutritionist and any dietitian in the entire world. Especially if you have grandparents, you don't even have to think about asking anyone with respect to what kind of food you have to eat. I eat delicious, nutritious meal every single day, fresh. It's Indian diet, ragi, wheat, rice. Everything is balanced. Vegetables. I don't skip rice at all. I don't say no to a certain kind of food. Everything that has been prepared in traditional Indian houses, traditional Indian dishes, with respect to where you're located geographically, that's more than enough. Food is a very, very important factor when it comes to leading one's own life and maintaining one's own physical health and mental health. If you do not consume food that nourishes your soul, you feel empty on the inside, as a result of which you end up eating things in order to compensate for this emptiness, and then the balance is completely lost. This is what you have to understand. You lose the balance with respect to the food because you don't give the body and the mind what it needs, as a result of which you lose complete control. You end up eating things that your body and mind can't digest, can't accept, and it results as flab, and around the waist, around the shoulders, around the arms, whatever it may be. Consistent practice is very essential. See, being disciplined with respect to food is not bound by time. It is a way of life. Having the food, having a systematic approach towards the food as to what to eat, why you have to eat, how to eat, it's very, very essential. I'll tell you one thing. Have you ever noticed which side do you chew the food more often? I am 100% sure 99% of you wouldn't have noticed it. Why is it most of you chew the food on the right side and not on the left side? Why most of you chew the food on the left side and not on the right side? Have you ever thought about this? Do you even know what the signal the system inside you gives when you're full? You've reached a stage where you're so completely cut off from your body, you do not even know that you're full with food when you're having food. The system is completely off the track. Food plays a very, very important role. I'm not saying this to demotivate you, but eating, sleeping, and the way you lead your life, this is very, very important. No expert has anything to do with this. Let me tell you one thing. How was your life when you were in your early days, 20s, early 20s, or even your school days? You were at the top, you were the prime of fitness level. What happened after that? Just trace your life back to where you were. Observe everything that you used to follow back then. Just repeat it. You may need an expert advice with respect to what to eat because of the age that you are in right now, and if you have some deficiency with respect to one or the other vitamins or minerals, that's a very, very a small suggestion that you need. Apart from that, all the discipline that you need, you would discipline life that you want to lead right now, you have already followed back in your early 20s or early 30s. You feel like you are aging, you have to accept this. All of us age, even I age. Everyone, that's natural. That's a natural process. You can't fight aging. You can't, use any kind of external whatever cosmetics that are there and then come up with something that makes you look young. Doesn't make any sense. Everyone knows what your age is. They may not share it in your face, but everyone knows. I mean, everyone knows you don't have black hair, and everyone knows you have a gray hair. How is it possible if you're in your early, in your 70s or 80s, and you have, a hair which is much more blacker than me, blacker than mine? It doesn't make any sense. It's fun actually when I go meet people around. I mean, I see people who are in their 60s and 70s, not a single gray hair. I have more gray hair than them. Why do you want to cover up? It's natural. Is what I'm telling you. Everything go with the natural flow of the nature. You're fighting against it. There's no point. You end up harming yourself. Acceptance is very, very important. See, discipline is very, very essential. But along with the discipline, acceptance becomes very essential for you to understand and maintain the physical and the mental wellness that you seek with respect to yoga. Food is a vast subject, and the kind of food that you consume depends on the geographical location that you stay in. We can't say, okay, follow this food habits. One rule can't apply to everyone. Each one of us have been raised in a different way. Each one of us have different food habits. And each state has a different food habit. Each household has a different food habit. And even in one home, each person has different kinds of food preferences. You have to find out what is it that you want to consume, and after consumption of which you feel energetic and you feel alive. But by consistently practicing and having a specified time duration for you to consume your food, eat it the way it has to be eaten, chew it the way it has to be chewed, filling your stomach with only half food. Half of the stomach should be filled with food, not complete stomach. 1/4 should be filled with water. 1/4 you have to leave it for the digestion to happen. This, you have to know how to eat first, and you have to know what to eat first. And once you know this, weight management just becomes that easy. It's very, very easy to maintain consistency with respect to the physical fitness. You will never put on weight if there's consistency in what you do. You will never put on weight if there's consistency with how you think. You'll never put on weight if there's consistency with respect to the vision that you want to achieve. Since you lose track of these, you end up compensating with respect to the food. You fill up the gaps by consumption of the food that is ultimately not needed for the body. This is a bitter truth, but you have to accept it. 99% of the time, you end up eating things that you don't need at all. I mean, I'm 100% sure a lot of you would have had a meal at a certain point of the day, even when you're not hungry. Why would you want to do that? You are depriving your body the ability to feel, for it to feel hungry. You're not even letting the body experience hunger, and then you're feeding food. See, this is common basic psychology of the body, mind, people, whatever it may be. If you give something to someone who doesn't value it, it's of no use. It's the same with respect to the body. The body has to crave for the food. Imagine the thirst that you experience when you are in a desert, or when you're in a hot climatic condition. Just one glass of water you drink after you feel this intense thirst, you feel like you've drank the whole lake itself. The body has to feel the hunger. You're feeding your body with so much of food, the body has forgotten what hunger is. There is hunger for you with respect to wealth creation, with respect to growth and whatnot, but you're depriving your body with respect to required nutrients. My body craves certain kind of food. It craves for rice, it craves for ragi, it craves for wheat. It asks me. Your body should be the same. It should ask for a certain kind of food, not some random food which is going to make you feel more miserable. Your body should ask for those kinds of food by consuming which you feel free. You feel alive. You feel as if there's a new wave of energy within you. This comes by training. You have deprived your body the ability to feel the hunger and to enjoy the nutrients to the best of its ability. The body has become so inert, it's become so lazy, it's just accepting anything and everything that you eat as the best. Even to this day, I do consume sugar, I do consume a lot of other things, but maybe once or twice in a month, or maybe lesser than that. But once I consume it, that's it. My body doesn't even crave for sweets. My body doesn't crave for chocolates. There's absolutely no inclination towards food at all. Whatever I just told about, no sugar, no caffeine. There's no urge. Why? I've trained the system in such a way. I'm not saying it's an addiction. I just realized there's no happiness from these kinds of food. I do enjoy eating out a lot of times, whenever it's essential, whenever I go out, whenever I have no option to cook. But that's it. And I enjoy that point of time, and that's it. I come back, I go back to the normal routine. I do some extra workout, or I do some other things in order to compensate for the extra calories that I've consumed. You have to be very careful with respect to what you eat every single day. To eat and to live, it's very difficult. I'm telling you honestly, it's not that easy to eat healthy and live healthy and to sleep healthily and have this very clear mindset. To live is the biggest favor that you can do to yourself. Or I'd say, to be alive when you live is the biggest favor that you can do to yourself. I agree. Living is the biggest task. It's not work. It's not fulfilling one or the other undone tasks. It's one's wish to live. That's the biggest thing. It's not that easy to live. You know how difficult it is to live? If all these times, if up until now, you felt like, okay, to live is like the easiest thing, let me tell you, you haven't lived your life at all. It's not possible. You know how much of effort goes into cooking 3 perfectly balanced, nutritious meal a day? Do you know what it means to grow the food for the dishes that you prepare? Do you know what it means to get the nutrients in them in the right quantity in order to get whatever is needed? All you're doing is getting the right ingredients in place and then just cooking up a dish. Why is it that so difficult for you? Everything is available. You just have to know what to eat, why you have to eat, and how much to eat. By regular practice of yoga, you start to understand these things. Every one of us have a different body type. Every one of us have a different mindset. We are completely different creatures. We are humans, but each one of us are different. You are your best doctor. You are your best judge. You are your best nutritionist. You know everything that your body needs for you to keep yourself fit, to keep yourself mentally sound. All you have to do is just go back in time, trace every good habit that you've ever followed, and start implementing it. And then you see for yourself, it's impossible to put on weight. It's not possible. Even if you try, it won't happen. Why? Because you started to enjoy being healthy. If you don't enjoy being healthy, that's when you start developing all these bad habits. Everyone knows consumption of meat, consumption of sugar, and consumption of a lot of other food items that is not good for your body shouldn't be eaten, and yet you eat. I haven't understood this even to this day as to why this happens in people, because I can't follow this at all. In spite of knowing that it is not healthy for you, you end up eating it, and then you start complaining, okay, I've had this and this problem, and then as a result of which I put on weight. I don't even know what to say. Hormonal imbalances starts to happen. Your system just completely stops functioning. Why would you want to do that? And don't you want to enjoy life, and don't you want to live? Don't you want to feel alive? If you really want to, then you'll definitely stick to very disciplined food habit, very disciplined sleep cycle. Let me tell you one secret. I don't think you really want to live and you really want to enjoy the life. That's why you're making your life miserable by eating in these food habits, by being lazy. I'll be honest with you. This may sound crazy for you sometimes, but this is how it is. You don't want to live a healthy lifestyle. You'd rather crib, you'd rather complain, and then stay where you are instead of pulling yourself out of it and then starting a new life. You are enjoying complaining to such an extent, it's become a way of life for you. You don't want to be healthy. You just come up with a reason saying, okay, this is how my body is. No, your body isn't like this. It's all the mind game. You've convinced yourself saying, okay, this and this is how it is. Even if God comes, he won't be able to help you. You have to pull yourself out of it. This weight management thing is the nutritionist, dietitian, whoever they are, their advice is very minimal. It is you who have to take up this task of keeping yourself physically fit, mentally healthy. These people these are of no use. The dietitians, nutritionists, as I said, your mother, your grandparents, they have immense knowledge with respect to what you have to eat. Just watch them, just observe them. To this day, I have never consulted anyone. I don't think there's any need also. If you are a special kind of a person, if there's some medical limitations that you suffer from one or the other kind of disease, then that's a different case altogether. If you're a healthy person and at the same time you know deep inside you that you're lazy and you're not following this, then this is for you. By consistent practice of yoga, not just asana practice, just coming for 1 hour every day and practicing asana or practicing 2 hours doesn't make any difference. If you practice for 1.5 hours and go back home and eat something that's not conducive for the body, it doesn't make any sense. Everything that goes into your mouth is a blessing in disguise. Be very careful with respect to what you eat. Each and every meal should be offered as prasadam, as an offering. Each and every meal should be offered as an offering for the fire god who sits in your belly. And this is the purpose of eating. Once you understand this, you'll stop feeding alcohol, you'll stop feeding all the nonsense that, that is not needed. When there's fire burning, would you rather pour water on it when there's cold climatic condition outside in the environment, and when there's fire burning, would you put water on it or would you put fuel on it? Definitely you'd put fuel on it. It's the same in the system also, in your inner system. There's fire burning in you, there's energy coming out of it. And if you pour water on it, what's the use? You have to feed it that which helps it to burn in a much bigger way. When this starts to happen, what you eat starts to reflect in your face, starts to reflect in your eyes. You know, the smile and the glow that you get when you eat your favorite dish cooked by your mother, none of the best restaurants or Michelin star restaurants can ever, compete with that. And deep down, everything that you wish for, and most importantly, there's love in the food that you eat. There's no love in the food that you get outside. People serve you those food because it's a living for them. But when you cook and when you eat, there's a lot of love in it. That is what lacks in the food that you consume from the people, whom you don't know. That's why most people don't even eat outside. Why? They say because they see the respect and the love in the food. When you're being served food by a person who doesn't have love and respect, there's no point in consuming it. I myself don't consume it. That's why I'm very careful even when I go outside, from whom I eat, from where I eat, whose home do I eat it from. because you're ultimately absorbing the energy of the people. So it's very, very essential for you to keep all these things in mind. You will never ever point where you need expert advice. It's impossible for you to gain weight if you follow proper disciplinary practices or the whatever I've just told you. Let me know how you felt in the comments below. I hope this was informative. If you want to get in touch with me, write to me directly. If you want to know anything with respect to yoga, just share them in the comments. I'll try to make the video as soon as possible. Don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.